Pfizer ultimately is thinking about mutating COVID.
Well, that is not what we say to the public. No, don't tell anyone this building. You probably shouldn't tell. You probably shouldn't tell anyone. Okay? We're exploring now. You know how the virus keeps mutating?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things we're exploring is why don't we just mutate it ourselves so we could create actively develop new vaccines, right? So we have to do that. If we're going to do that, though, there's a risk of as you could imagine, no one wants to be having a pharma company mutating viruses. To be very controlled to make sure that this virus that you mutate doesn't create something it goes everywhere.
Something crazy.
Is the way that the virus started and moving on. To be honest, it makes no sense that this virus popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. It's like gain of function to me.
I don't know. It's a little bit different. I think it's different. It's definitely not gain of function.
It sounds like it is. I mean, it's okay.
No, directed evolution is very different. Well, you're not supposed to do gain of function research with the viruses. They recommend not. But you do these selected directional mutations to try to see if you can make more potent.
Yeah.
So there is research ongoing about that. I don't know how that's going to work. There better not be any more outbreaks, because Jesus Christ. For all government officials, it's pretty good for the industry, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's bad for everyone else in America.
Why is it bad for everybody else?
Because if the regulators who have to approve our drugs know that once they stop being regulated, they want to come work for the company, they're not going to be as hard for the company. The way that we're thinking about don't tell anyone this building. You probably shouldn't tell anyone. You probably shouldn't tell anyone. Okay, bro. So, the way it would work is we put them in the virus in these monkeys.
Okay.
And then we successively cause them to keep infecting each other. And we collect serial samples from them, and then the ones that are more infectious, like the virus, we'll put them in another monkey and you just constantly actively mutate it. That's one way.
Okay.
Or you can even do directed simulation, which we tend not to prefer. And then you just sample what the different proteins on the surface of the virus look like over time.
Okay.
So then you can see the mutation, and you can kind of force it to mutate in a certain way you want.
Okay.
But you have to be very controlled to make sure that this virus that you mutate doesn't create something it goes everywhere.
Something crazy.
Is the way that the virus started and moving on. To be honest, it makes no sense that this virus popped out of nowhere.
Yeah, I know. When is Pfizer going to implement the mutation of all these viruses?
I don't know. It depends on how the experiments work out. Because this is just something that's dying, right?
It sounds like gain of function to me.
I don't know. It's a little bit different. I think it's different. It's definitely not gain of function.
It sounds like it is. I mean, it's okay.
No, directed evolution is very different.
Direct evolution?
Directed evolution.
Directed evolution, okay. Well, so, I mean, is that what it is?
Maybe. Well, you're not supposed to do gain of function research with the viruses. They recommend not. But you do these selected directional mutations to try to see if you can make more potent.
Yeah.
So there is research ongoing about that. I don't know how that's going to work. There better not be any more outbreaks, because Jesus Christ.
So, tell me more, what's developing with the whole, virus mutation process?
Well, they're still kind of conducting the experiments on it, but it seems like from what I've heard, they're kind of optimizing it, but they're going slow. They were very cautious,
Right.
Obviously, don't want to kind of accelerate it too much.
Yeah.
But I think they're also just trying to do it as an exploratory thing, because you obviously don't want to advertise that you're trying to figure out future mutations.
Okay, so did the whole virus mutation thing come from your executive, Sarah?
No. That came from we have chief scientific officers and
what's the goal for Pfizer of doing that?
So part of what they want to do is to try to figure out, to some extent, there's all these new strains of variants that just pop up. Why don't we try to catch them before they pop up in nature, and we can develop a vaccine prophylactically for new variants.
Yeah.
So that's why they're thinking if you do it controlled in the lab, then we say, oh, this is an epitope, and so then if it comes out later on, in the public, we already have a vaccine kind of working on it.
Oh my God. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the best business model though? Just control nature before nature even happens itself, right?
Yeah. If it works.
What do you mean if it works?
Because some of the times there were just mutations that pop up, right? And we're not prepared for it, with Delta or Omicron,
right,
and things like that. So who knows? I mean, either way, it's gonna be a cash cow. COVID will probably be a cash cow for us for a while going forward.
Yeah.
I obviously
Well, I think the whole, research of the viruses and mutating it, would be the ultimate, cash cow.
Yeah. door for all government officials.
Wow.
Yeah, for any industry though. So like in the farm industry, all the government officials who like review our drugs, mostly come work for pharma companies. Like in the military, like all the like army and defense like government officials eventually go work for the defense companies afterwards.
How do you feel about that revolving door? Like,
It's pretty good for the industry to be honest.
yeah.
It's bad for everyone else in America.
Why is it bad for everybody else?
Because if the regulators who have to approve our drugs know that once they stop being regulated, they want to go work for the company, they're not going to be as hard for the company. They're reviewing their drugs.
Right.